Hi everyone. Today's topic is food spoilage and preservation. The following subtopics will be covered in this video. What is meant by food spoilage? What factors contribute to food spoilage? How to prevent food spoilage and modern methods of food preservation and legislative control over them. Food spoilage means food becomes unsafe or undesirable to consume due to its irreversible change. This change could be a result of microorganisms, bacteria, viruses or fungi, or chemical deterioration. This can happen with too much ripening. Oxidation. Oxidation can affect the appearance of food and give it an undesirable flavor or aroma. Rancidity of fats and oils is an example of oxidation. Insects. They can contaminate food, leading to spoilage and even diseases. Next, we'll discuss how to identify spoilt food and its obvious signs. Changes in color, texture, smell, or taste. Mold growth is an obvious sign of food spoilage. Softening, that is, mushy or soft texture in fruits and vegetables, as shown in this picture. Then, curdling in dairy products, which you may have seen when fresh milk is kept outside for an extended time. Hence, from these signs, identifying spoilt food is not too difficult. Next, we'll look at how to prevent food spoilage. Now you know that food spoilage is caused by microorganisms, chemical deterioration, oxidation and insects. So to prevent spoilage, we need to prevent the growth of microorganisms, prevent chemical deterioration, prevent oxidation and protect food from insects. How could we achieve this? These can be achieved by drying, which removes water, so microorganisms cannot thrive. Salting, that is, food is kept surrounded by salt, which inhibits microbial activity. Smoking, this is usually done for fish by exposure to smoke. Pasteurization, done by slow heating of milk up to about 60 degrees centigrade and letting it cool. Ultraheat treatment, or UHT, is accomplished by quickly heating milk to 135 degrees Celsius, holding it there for 2 to 3 seconds, and then quickly cooling it down. Pickling. Pickling involves immersing food in a vinegar solution before packaging it. Fumigation. Fumigation is a pest control method that uses gaseous chemicals to eliminate pests like insects and rodents that may be present in stored food. You may have seen this fumigation technique being used in the environment for mosquitoes and other insect control and in aircraft as well for control of pests. The same method is used with different chemicals for food. As you are aware, the most widely used method for preserving food is refrigeration or freezing. Food spoiling can be delayed by keeping them in a cold atmosphere, which inhibits the growth of bacteria. In homes, we use standard refrigerators, but in industries, freezers or cold rooms are used. A well-known method of preserving food is canning. Canning involves placing food in cans, sealing them, and then heating them to a temperature that destroys microorganisms. Although not common, irradiation with gamma rays is sometimes used to prevent microbial growth and thereby preserve food. Irradiation is also used to prevent sprouting of yams, especially potatoes, which will improve their keeping quality. Out of these methods of food preservation, drying, salting, smoking, pasteurization, ultraheat treatment, canning, refrigeration, and freezing are considered physical methods of food preservation since they do not involve chemicals or radiation. Pickling entails the use of vinegar and sometimes flavorings. Fumigation employs chemicals such as methyl bromide or phosphine to prevent insect infestations. Fumigation is usually done for grains after harvesting and before processing. Therefore, the chemicals added are degraded or washed off in the process of food preparation. As opposed to this, some chemicals are added to food as preservatives, and we consume them with our food. These are commonly known as food preservatives. Preservatives are food additives that prolong the shelf life of food by protecting it against deterioration caused by microorganisms or other means. A list of commonly used food preservatives is given here. They are sorbic acid, benzoic acid, sulfur dioxide, nisin, potassium nitrite, sodium nitrite and propionic acid. Since they are chemicals, their use is regulated by global and local standards and regulations to ensure safety. The use of food preservatives in food and regulatory or legal control over them will be discussed next. Before discussing the proper use of food preservatives, it is important to know the international body that sets global standards for foods. That is the Codex Alimentarius Commission or CAC. This commission has established an expert committee called Joint Expert Committee on Food Additives, or JACFA, whose task, among others, is to evaluate food additives, including food preservatives. The commission adopts those standards recommended by the JACFA. Upon approval by the commission, these details are published on the CAC and JACFA websites as General Standards for Food Additives, GSFA, making them accessible to all nations. Codex General Standard for Food Additives, 192, 1995, is such a standard adopted in 1995, and revised last, in 2024. This standard lists out all the approved food additives, including food preservatives. The following subsection of the standard provides information about the food preservative, nisin. It shows the food category number, category name of food on which nisin can be used, maximum permitted concentration, link to notes which provide additional information, and the year it was adopted. The link provided here will take you to this web page. This is the GSFA web page, where you can find any approved food additive using the search option, or you can click this button to view them in alphabetical order. The link below will take you to this website. More details about Codex Alimentarius Commission and JECFA will be covered in another video titled Food Safety, Global Perspective. It is important to note that many countries have included these standards in their national laws. Here is an example of how these standards were used in Sri Lanka when developing a regulation under the Food Act. This particular regulation on food preservatives, published in 2019, uses the Codex standard stipulated in the General Standard for Food Additives, 192, 1995. Therefore, by creating and disseminating food standards for foods that are traded internationally, the Codex Alimentarius Commission helps nations enhance the quality and safety of their food. Finally, let's wrap up the topics we covered in this video. We discussed the signs of food spoilage, how to prevent food spoilage, use of food preservatives, international organizations that establish standards for food additives, and the application of those standards in improving the quality and safety of food. Here are some additional videos on human nutrition available through this channel. If you find these videos helpful, you can subscribe and click the bell icon to receive notifications when new videos on various topics are posted on this channel. Thank you.